What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nosebleed section. I'm your host, as always, and we have a special Giants podcast coming to you guys tonight. The title of this one is called Victory Formation, baby.
What up with it?
The Giants go into Tennessee and spoil the party, winning there with a huge upset, some might say. A huge win against the Tennessee Titans this past Sunday. And we're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from the game. We got a decent amount to get through, so Giants fans, please tune in. And as always, we always ask you guys to like, share, comment, follow. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what we could do better on. And yeah, let's get into it. So, for everybody that didn't see, the Giants pulled out one of the biggest upsets and had for the first time, and I think you believe it, 6, 7 years, won their season opener.
Since 2016.
2016, 6 years. The Giants have won their first season opener in 6 years, winning Tennessee against a tough team. Held Derrick Henry to 82 yards rushing. Um, Defense stepped up and played well. We'll get into everything, but yeah, just to give you guys a little bit of background on the game. The guys that didn't see it, I know it might have been regional broadcast, but the Giants, again, it's a work in progress. We know they are, rebuilding, reloading, whatever you want to call it. They're in a full blown rebuild at this point. Let's just put it how it is. They're rebuilding this team, but they showed something that we haven't seen from the past rebuilds. And it just showed a lot. It showed that the team. It showed like Dan Orlovsky and ESPN said, like it showed hope. But Giants went down, scored a game-winning touchdown. And instead of just doing the whole like kick a field goal or whatever, went for two and got it. Tennessee went back down, moved the ball pretty well down the field in that last drive, and fortunately for us, unfortunately for them, missed a game-winning 47-yarder. Bullet pushed it a little bit, and he missed it. Um, let's start with some of the things that you obviously didn't like. Uh, Saquon Dayballs. Let's start with some things that you didn't like about how we performed. I know the first half was rough. A lot of people were already packing it in the first half. So
Yeah.
let us know some things that you didn't like from that first half of play, and just in general.
Well, all right. I'm gonna go more in general than anything else, um, because talking about the first half is actually what I'm gonna when we start talking about the good. I'm actually gonna bring that up. Just overall in general, there were a couple of spots that I really was not happy about. Now, granted, we're talking a situation where you're coming into the first week of the season, you're on the road, you're against the team that was the number one seed in the AFC last year. So this is everything that you could ask to go against you when you are opening up with a new coach, new offense, new defense, everything. So all of that in place and all of that understood, you still have to look at and you still have to critique what you see. So when it comes to the play specifically of coverage, when it comes to our linebackers, and I can see your eyes rolling in your head right now, even though you're not looking, I was offended.
I'm listening.
I was absolutely offended. And I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself with this one, but anybody who has Christian McCaffrey on their fantasy team, you might want to put him in the starting lineup because if you know Tay Crowder and Austin Calitro want to be out of position as much as they were and make Hilliard look like he was a Hall of Fame running back, I'm pretty sure that Christian McCaffrey going to look like he's like the greatest running back of all time next week, just catching out of the backfield. That was pathetic. All right. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what was miscommunicated, whatever it was. And the next week, Wing Martindale got to get that together. Number two, as much as I ragged on Aaron Robinson throughout the actual the preseason, the biggest issue in our secondary this week was Darnay Holmes. And I don't understand why, because Darnay Holmes was gangbusters when it came to, shutting people down in training camp, shutting people down in preseason, everything. He had an amazing offseason. Maybe it was Kyle Phillips, the guy that I had been sitting up there trying to draft the entire time we were doing our pre our mock drafts and everything like that.
Yo,
I don't
Kyle
know.
Phillips was your guy in every mock draft.
Kyle Phillips was lighting him up, but like I said, maybe that was it. I don't know. Like I said, that's something that has to get cleaned up. And like I said, specifically on that last drive, we had a whole bunch of different. We had a whole bunch of holding penalties, defensive holding, that you can't. You can't have that. You cannot assist the offense when it comes to getting down the field. Like, all right, I understand the philosophy of if I'm gonna get beat, I'd rather take the penalty because it's not going to give up all of the yardage and everything like that, especially if it's a defensive holding versus like, all right, pass interference or something like that. I get it. But at the same time, we have them in, horrible situations. It's like 3rd and 15. And I'm being facetious when I'm saying this because I don't think they had any down and distance like that. But we got situations, it's 3rd down or whatever. We're about to get off the field and keep them from actually completing this drive. Defensive holding. Come on. We got to shore that up. And granted, like I said, it's week 1. I understand. You got an opportunity. You know what's on film now. Get it together. Last point, our interior offensive line, specifically left guard. What the fuck? And I'm just going to turn it over to you. Because I cannot go any further than that. Because I will not stop talking.
What did I like and didn't like? So as far as what I didn't like, yes, I definitely want to agree with you on the inside backers. The backers look terrible. Like again, Calitro, for him to come in and have this whole great preseason and everything, and right place, right time, I felt it was kind of the name of his game in the preseason. Like he had all those interceptions and everything. I think he had like 2 or 3 in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have looked a little better than he actually was, but at the same time, like he still played decently well. I don't know if he's a more of a coverage backer at this point or what. But like you said, Hilliard was just killing him the entire game, him and Tate Crowder. And I would think Tate Crowder's a little better at coverage. He's a smaller linebacker, but Tate Crowder still gets caught in the wash and the run too much for my liking. And just for you to cut a Blake Martinez, we didn't make it really another move. We brought in Tony Jefferson, who could probably play more in the box. Maybe another smaller option there at like a safety box linebacker kind of thing, as far as Wink Martinel's defense. But we need to figure out something else out there. Like, yes, you don't want to go spend the money that you just got from reworking Cat's contract. I get it; it's not ideal. I don't know who's really out there that could be considered an improvement at this point in time. If that's not the case, then next offseason, you got to go get a linebacker. If you got to make a trade for like a 5th, 6th round pick in the draft, something has to be done. You have to address that some type of way, like because that linebacker play was awful the entire game. Yes, we can talk about the left guard position because look, the line as a whole, the pass blocking has to get better. Has to get better. But for what it's worth, Andrew Thomas did rank as one of the best left tackles this week 1. And he's very underrated in general. People do not give that kid his credit or his due. He's one of the best left tackles in the NFL at this point, in my opinion. And I mean, you got to figure Whitworth is gone. Tyron Smith with the Cowboys is off injured. Like Jason Peters is way over the hill at this point. Andrew Thomas has to be considered one of the best left tackles in the game. And I mean, his grades speak for themselves. Evan Neal held up, I'd say, pretty well for his rookie debut. He had a play or two I saw. He got beat off around the edge. He got beat inside once or twice. But from what I saw, he held his own pretty well. Mark Glowinski, he struggled in pass pro. From everything that I saw, I didn't see the first half because I had to coach a football game. But from what I saw in highlights of the first half and what I saw from the rest of the game, Glowinski struggled in pass pro, but was dominant in the run game. Mm-hmm. And Feliciano, another one. Mongo he kind of struggled in the pass game as well, but he it was adequate. It was okay. Yes, he wanted to be better. I understand there's still the factor of gelling. It's not like they all played a season together. One's a rookie, two are from different teams, and Andrew's in his like third system in 3 years or whatever. So I get it. Like there's going to be a gel point. Yes, you worked the entire offseason, but that was on air. That was against your own teammates. That was against, the also with other teams. Like in a practice setting, you didn't get that many live reps in the preseason, so I understand it. But the left guard position to me, that has to, like you said, has to be addressed. Has to be fixed some type of way. There's and you're just not going to build any consistency and continuity if you keep changing and rotating the left guard every series. It can't be one series of Josh, and the next series is Ben Brereton, and the next series is what's his name, Devery Hamilton, and it doesn't make sense. And the next series you want to bring in if they even elevate like a Wyatt Davis or if they elevate what's his name, Curtis Wiley, like there's too many linemen, and Jack Anderson we signed, and we just signed another lineman yesterday whose name escapes me at this point. But yeah, Dan Dugan was talking about it at this point. It was like, all right, at what point? Yes, we have young offensive linemen that are going to be versatile, can play, swing tackle, guard, center, whatever. But at some point, you have to just focus on your core, and you have to build a continuity. You have to know that there's people that you're going to go forward with, like, and for not for nothing, like the kid Hamilton looks like he might be the best of all of them. I mean, I would say between him and Ben Brereton at this point, like
Right.
I I just don't think Josh was ready. But then again, we even looked at it sideways coming out of the draft. Like I'm going to be completely honest here. We sat here, and the first two picks, you lit it up. You went and got Kayvon, you went and you got Evan Neal. We were over the moon, as most Giants fans I'm sure were. Then you went back and you got Wandale. That was kind of like okay, like maybe you could have got him around later. Interesting pick. We'll see how it pans out. But then you went back and you got like as how do you I don't know how to say his last name. I don't know how to
Izudu.
say it. Izudu. You ain't got Josh Izudu like a guard out of North Carolina, and it was just for everything I saw in my rankings, that guy was ranked somewhere very low in the lineman rankings. And I mean, you could say if it's one guy, but when multiple ranking systems and multiple draft networks and teams and scouts and everything are all talking about this guy being a potential fifth, sixth, seventh undrafted free agent kind of prospect, and your scouting department told you to take him in the third round, it kind of says something. And then for him to go out and have that performance he did, now I get it. The front seven of the Titans is good. I get it. And Jefferson is an animal. I understand. It's a
Yeah.
hard assignment for your first NFL game. But that dude looked like McKeithen. He looked like he needed to be the sixth round pick, and
Mhm.
McKeithen should have been undrafted. If we would have took Josh in the sixth, I'd have been fine with it. Like whatever. But for you to invest a third round pick and get that performance out of it, already kind of concerns me about that. Either it's him not being ready, or it's us for having a bad scouting department that we moved on, got rid of since. But like that was very eye-opening to me too. And then, like you said, the third bullet point was just learning to. And again, it's one thing that and I'm obviously me and you we've talked about, but I'm sure the millions of Giants fans have sat here and said the same thing. The ability to finish the game, like you have to be able to finish and get off the field. Like you said the whole thing about being facetious about 30-15, but I do believe it was a 3rd and 8 or a 3rd and 10
Mhm.
where we, made the play, and then it was either Calitro one play, and then it was Darnay Holmes just getting hit with defensive holdings the whole time down the field. That's what gave them like the next 15, 20 yards. It's like, yo, at some point you have to just buckle down and play defense, play sound defense. You know, if you can't just keep getting hit with penalties.
Yeah.
You gave them an extra 20 yards that got them into field goal range. You kept their drive alive. So yeah, I agree with all those points. And I wonder how the game would have went if we had Aziz and KT. If we would have had those two, I am very interested to see how the game would have went. Would it have been like that? Will we have a better pass rush and got home more often? That's what I was interested to see. But I think overall we played I'd say pretty decent for a first. I guess the first half was ugly, but
Yeah.
the second half I got a lot of things that I liked, and we're gonna go to that in a second. But what are the things that you liked from this game? Like, what do you take away that positives from it?
First and foremost, I said I was going to bring up, the first half performance when I talked about this. Um, the thing I'm actually going to bring up is the fact that for the first time in what feels like forever, we went into halftime playing one way, playing like we didn't actually belong on the field with our opponents. More so from an offensive standpoint, because our defense was out there doing their thing. All right, get them all the credit in the world. We honestly at halftime probably should have been down, I don't know, 27-0. All right, but our defense kept us in, and the offense went into the halftime, and our coaching staff made adjustments. It's kind of sickening that I actually have to put that in there as a positive point, just telling you and putting into perspective exactly how bad we've been over the last 6 years. But it's the God honest truth. We went in there, Dable and Kafka, they got together, they made whatever adjustments, whatever they are actually going to start, focusing more on Saquon than trying to get Daniel Jones out there running on the edge and all kinds of other stuff like that, because the Titans were just blowing that up completely. Right, we couldn't really do too much about it. Like Daniel Jones was getting out there doing his thing, but it wasn't as effective as we have seen Daniel Jones be with his legs. So team started to rely more on Saquon as an actual runner than, kind of sort of just relying on him being out there on the field, setting edges and all kinds of, chipping and all kinds of other stuff like that. So we started getting our playmakers the ball, obviously. The other thing I want to get out there, Wink Martindale, my God, that final drive, even though, like I said, we were talking about that in the negative when it came to certain stuff as far as like giving up, um, giving up like penalties and things like that. But one thing I really, really have to like applaud is the fact that I didn't see it being 3rd and 2 and our defensive backs 15 yards off of the line of scrimmage.
Running that Patrick Graham special.
I hated that shit. I could not stand it. And I
Third
was
and
so
two. Let's play
happy.
our corners at 10.
Exactly. It was the most frustrating thing as a guy, especially a guy that played defense. All right. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I'm sitting up here seeing our guys man up. I'm seeing blitzes still coming out. Xavier McKinney came on blitzes. He didn't get home, but he came on blitzes in like 3-4 plays in a row on that final drive. I'm sitting up here, yes, come on, let's do this. Like if we had, again, as you brought up yourself, if we had our starting pass rushers, Ojulari, at Thibodeau, guys out there, does that get home at that point? Because you're going to have more pressure coming off of the edges on those plays.
I'm
You're
telling
talking
you.
a completely different situation if that's the case. So I'm just like, man, listen, thank you, Wink Martindale. And the last thing I'm going to bring up is Saquon Barkley. All right. Obviously, I could bring up Brian Dable in the 2-point conversion call, but the thing is, we're not there without Barkley playing out of his mind. All right. Now I just sat up here and like I said, I posted the thing in the room. Saquon, they do the FedEx Ground Player of the Week and all that other stuff, just like you do the offensive play. There's these nonsensical awards or whatever that go on during the season just for people, to bring up conversation. Again, I'm offended. The man wasn't even considered a nominee for this award. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, and it's DeAndre, right? DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain isn't working at the moment, but but those are your nominees for the FedEx Ground Player of the Week. But Saquon Barkley, Mr. 18 carries for 164 yards, 6 catches for 30 yards, and 1 touchdown. That man was not even considered. You
Not
take
enough.
away you take away the 68 yarder that he had, and Saquon was still average at 5.65 yards per carry. Grant, granted, it's only 3 yards, but the man is leading the league in rushing right now. But I'm saying, don't tell me about no dancing. Don't tell me about he's afraid of contact. None of that. This is Saquon Barkley. This is the guy that we drafted as the number 2 pick in 2018. All right. And I cannot wait to see what this man does for the rest of the year.
Yo, you already know. You already know how I feel. I mean, you can see the flags behind me. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Penn State fan. So you already know how I feel. Benji has a video. We were at a local bar a couple years ago.
Yep.
Saquon was drafted, and I lost my fucking mind. All right, that's all
Yep.
you need to know. And I have 2 Saquon Barkley jerseys in my closet currently. That's all you have to know about me and Saquon. That's my guy. That's my guy. But um, things that I liked about the game. Things I liked about the game was our fight. Our fight was like the best thing I saw because when I was out, I told you again, I did miss the first half. Unfortunately, I had to coach a football team, but just our fight, like you said, the second half adjustments is what I love too. You sat here and the first half it just didn't work. Like we were trying to sit back, we were trying to throw the ball, all these things. They were getting home. The pass pro was not there. The communication was lacking on offensive line. Um, but we got into the ground game. We started running the ball, and running the ball effectively. That's one thing. Like just being able to assert your will and dominance. It's one thing if you're sitting back in pass pro, and you have to just lock the guy out and keep him there on the line, check your quarterback is one thing. But to be able to go forward and dominate up front is something that we have not seen in forever. And the offensive lineman in me was screaming. Like I was so happy watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching us just 3-point stands, going forward, blowing the D lineman back, climbing next level to the linebackers, taking them out to Saquon's ripping off 60-yard runs, like all that. I was losing my mind watching. Like, yo, this man starts the season with 160 yards rushing. Like, where did this come from? Like, we had over 200 yards rushing as a team. When was the last time we did that? Like, I was losing my mind, yo.
Yep.
To the ground game of the offensive line, I loved it. And then from that, when that happened, we start opening that up, and then that get the defense backs off. Now Daniel Jones actually has time to sit there and throw and scan and throw. Like this is an offense. This is like it's just it's beautiful to finally see. Like
Mm-hmm.
especially going from last year with freaking Fromm and Mike Glennon. Like
Oh my God.
and and going, well, you know, the infamous pictures of us sitting up here doing QB sneaks on the 3-yard line on second down, like because we just could because we were that bad to go from that to this in one off season or 1 year. Like it was just it was like I said, the offensive line ground game for me was amazing. To have that will, that determination out to go, like you said, to make the adjustments that we did at halftime, to come in with a different mindset, a different game plan. Like, yo, we're gonna just take it to them. We're gonna run. We're gonna run smash mouth offense. I love to see that. And then again, at the end, because we were all sitting here watching the game, like at our respective wherever we were home, blah blah, whatever. And the will to sit here and not only score, and okay, you came all the way back, you scored. You're down. You're down 20-19, and you're a rookie head coach in his head coaching debut with a fully rebuilding squad year. Your team is in full rebuild mode. You cut Blake Martinez. You cut James Bradbury. You're letting pieces go left and right. You're making money you're trying to open up money so you can have a future with this team. Like full rebuild. You got starters. I mean, you got rookies everywhere. You got new pieces everywhere. People that you brought in from off the streets. Like all these people to have the balls to go for two, to have the balls to go for two, to go for the win. And say screw this. Like what do we have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
What do we have to lose? Tennessee's the ones that have it to lose. They were the number 1 seed last year.
Yep.
They have everything to lose here. We're in Tennessee. Every Tennessee Titans fan, their mind was sitting here just like, I can't believe what's going on here. Like, we're the
Yep.
number one seed. We have Derrick Henry. Like, we're supposed to come in here and put 40 on the Giants, supposed to be 40-7. And they found
Mhm.
themselves losing 21-20 with under a minute to go in the game. To go and throw a shovel pass to your workhorse back who carried the team on his back the entire game, drag two defenders, dive over the line, get in the end zone, and get the 2 point. Like, it was just like, yo, it was just amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch. And I think my last thing that I really loved was the emotion of it all.
Mhm.
The emotion of it all was really like, well, it was just great to see. It was great. Not to sit here and just everybody's used to this like mediocrity and everybody's just used to losing and just being okay. It's whatever. Like, rebuild. Fine, we're gonna go lose 40-7 every week. We'll get the first overall pick. Daniel Jones will be gone, and we'll just draft, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson, and we'll just be done with it. Like, nah, like we came out, made adjustments, worked to our strengths, got in the game, won the game, and you see it like Saquon came over and he jumped on the Dable. Sterling Shepard jumped on the Dable. Dable was like crying. Dable literally got choked up in his tears, and then like he ran, he got all fired up, started yelling to the crowd, fist
Mhm.
pumping and everything. They're up in the locker room dancing, having a good ass time, like all the emotion and just and that's what every Giants fan like has had just built up. Giants Twitter went crazy. You know how many videos were we sending back and forth of just Giants fans going outside and yelling and screaming like
Yep.
like the emotion of just watching your team suck for the past 3, 4, 5 years and just not like there's no end in sight. Like we're not even seeing progress. Like we're seeing the same thing every week. We're seeing the same run the ball 3 times and punt, or throw three horrible passes, 3 bad play calls and punt, and then hopefully the defense can just try to hold them. That's all we saw every week for the past 3, 4, 5 years. So to see, oh, they noticed that this wasn't working in the first half. They went back in the locker room and they changed something. Y'all made adjustments. Y'all know how to do that. Like it was just so mind boggling. like
Yeah.
like like I was. And I'll be honest. Like I was one of those people. Like, and if you watch the podcast that me and Paul did last week, our predictions pod, I was just like, listen, man, it's a rebuild for the Giants. It's going to be a tough game. We're going to probably try to put 8 in the box. Derrick Henry's going to try to run on us, and we're going to try to hold on. Like I was on the edge of my seat, and when we won, like I was jumping up and down like them. Like it was crazy. It was crazy, but it showed like it's crazy to say, but it was competent coaching. Like
Mhm.
it was good coaching. And it's just something that we haven't seen. So it's just like, yo, like this is how it's supposed to be done. But we're not used to that because we've sat back and watched just incompetence for the past 5, 6 years.
Mhm.
Like so, it was just I don't know. I I was really happy with that game. Like I said, the first half, it was tough. But that second half to come in with a whole new mindset, game plan. Nobody was giving up. Nobody was hanging their heads. Nobody was just sitting at the end of the bench, like whatever. Like nah, like people came out and were like, nah, like win or lose, we're showing fight. We're showing spirit. This is different. Like, and they went and they got that shit, and that's why it just made me. I was just ecstatic over that. It made my whole Sunday. So made my
Mhm.
whole weekend. To be honest with you. Um, moving forward, I mean, our next set of games, like you said earlier, it's funny to say, but there is a possibility that you could be 4-0 in the next 3 games.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but it's a distinct possibility. You're sitting up here, your next game is what? Baker and the Panthers, and after that, you turn to who is
Cooper
it?
Rush. Cooper Rush in
It's
Dallas.
Cooper Rush in Dallas, and then you got the
We got the
Packers.
Bears. Got the
Oh,
Bears and the
Bears. Sorry,
Packers.
Bears. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
three. I'm not gonna say like we actually open as the favorites next week.
It's three winnable games. Like I said, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself and just be like, I'll jokingly go out there and be like, yeah, 4-0. I'm not being serious when I do that because again, this is a team that is just starting to turn itself around. So I'm not trying to sit up there and put that expectation out there. Right? Team, what I want to see is progress. I want to see the stuff that we were lacking in. I want to see that improve because as great as that victory felt, one or two things go differently. The Titans don't, basically shoot themselves in the foot multiple times in that game. We're very easily looking at 0-1, right? You got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Granted, like I said, our defense is doing a damn good job when it comes to containing him. 21 carries for 82 yards. Held the man under 4 yards carries. Amazing, especially for King Henry, right?
Hmm.
But we're sitting up here and what is this? A 3rd and 1, and you put him in the Wildcat. Another series. You got a 3rd and 1, and you run a tight end jet sweep. Like what? Like,
Yeah, that was some Russell Wilson Seahawks ball on the 1 yard line. Let's throw it type shit. Like
mm-hmm.
you look back and you got Marshawn Lynch and you're like,
Yeah,
no,
slant.
I like slant here. Like
Yeah,
that was yeah. I love how Marshawn just watched it and just started laughing. It's like
uh huh.
he just
It,
lost
it's
the Super Bowl. You're on the sideline laughing.
it's literally one of those things where I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry was doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
Like, what are you paying me for, bro? Seriously, what
he's
are
like
you paying me for? But
just
like
like
I said, so I'm
idiots,
I'm
man.
I'm I'm not gonna sit up here and go, buck wild crazy and everything like that. Yeah, it was a damn good feeling. On the real, I've been sitting up here watching Chuck Knox's reaction to it damn near all day because he was losing his mind in his house.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know if did you see it? Yeah, I gotta send you that. I gotta send you that. He was wilding. But I'm sitting up here like I went to work today and they're like we're in a building with a different company. The other company actually owns the property or whatever. The owner had locked himself out, so he had to come through our office or whatever to actually get into his spot. The first thing
mm-hmm.
he did when he walked in there, he was just like, "Hey, how about the balls on that Brian Dable?"
Yo,
I'm like it's a spark that's going on right now. So like I said, I understand the optimism and everything like that, and I'm right there with it. I'm like, all right, temper the expectations a little bit. This is still a work in progress. Right?
yeah,
I really need to see improvement in several areas. First and foremost, like I had brought up before, the linebacking core, y'all gotta get on the same page or whatever. I fully expect to see Julian Love out there as like that nickel safety. I and Christian McCaffrey the entire game. I don't think they're going to put any of our linebackers in that spot, which is probably going to put our secondary in a bit of a situation. But it is what it is at that point. You got to do what you got to do in order to get that win. The other thing, and I've been dancing around it the entire time, Daniel Jones. All right. Looking at the stat line, Daniel Jones was 17 for 21, it was 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 fumble. All right. You cannot do this, and I hate when people try to do this mess or whatever, but I have to do it in order to prove the point. Take the interception away. Daniel Jones is damn near flawless yesterday. Or not yesterday, on Sunday. All right. But the problem is the interception was so glaringly bad that it's just like it's one of those things where you do so much good and you make one mistake, but because the mistake was just so egregious that everybody just looks past all of the good that you did. Right? Daniel Jones was incredibly efficient yesterday. Looking at some of the what do they call the next gen stats and everything like that. Give me a half second. I need to pull that up or whatever. You can still see me and hear me, right?
Yeah, you're
All
sideways for
right,
some
yeah,
reason, but I can see.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with that, but I was trying to look it up. I did screenshot some stuff before I actually started. Um, yeah, highest passer rating in week one. Daniel Jones was fourth in the NFL, 115.9. The three ahead of him, Mahomes at number one, Justin Herbert at number two, Kirk Cousins at number three. Want to know who's behind them? Josh Allen. And you saw the game Josh Allen had the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Lowest percentage of off target throws in week one, Daniel Jones and Josh Allen tied at 0%.
I saw that one.
So the man, he had a game. Now I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at that play. Like I said, I sat up here and I intentionally, before we got back on here, went and rewatched that interception. Right. Now they came out, of course, Brian Dable tried to sell everybody a bunch of bullshit talking about, yeah, I was yelling at somebody on the headset or whatever. I'm like, no, you weren't, bro. You didn't even have a headset on. Get out of here. All right.
Yeah, no.
We saw what happened. And then he backtracked and he, went at it and told everybody what actually happened. And said he was just like, yeah, I asked him what he saw. He said, I thought I had back shoulder. And he said, that's not what I saw. Now, from my non-quarterback eyes or whatever, he did have back shoulder about 3 yards before he threw the ball. This is a Daniel Jones issue that has been there for a very long time, and it absolutely needs to get corrected. You cannot wait for a window to open up. You have to throw the window open sometimes. Right? That was one of the times where you had to trust the fact that Barkley's in the middle of his route. Your defender has not gotten there because Barkley was in motion to start that play. So he's sitting up there and he's got him at a point when around the 2 or the 3 yard line. At that point, if the ball goes out, that's a touchdown. But the thing is, he kind of waited until Barkley got onto the goal line to pull the trigger. At that point, defender's in position and it's over. All right. So, like I said, the decision has to be made faster. It's something that, like, if you get Dable out there coaching Daniel Jones like a coach is supposed to coach people, I'm not even going to get into the whole new age thing where you can't actually be tough with anybody anymore. But but we're going to put it out there, like, if he continues to coach him like that, because again, he went out there, he had that bad interception on the drive, and every Giants fan in the world was like, here we go again. But we got the ball back, and what happened? Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley led that team right back down the field and scored the game-winning touchdown. Right? So it wasn't, woe is me. It wasn't, all right, I'm going to go out there and try not to make mistakes. It's, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to lead this team down the field. So, like I say, if I see that improvement going forward, all right, that's something that I'm going to need, this team to actually work on. And this team being, like I said, Daniel Jones himself, as well as, the coaching staff and everything when it comes to making sure that Daniel Jones does what he's supposed to do going forward as well. All right. Last thing. Fucking offensive line. Get it together. All right. All right. Our tackles, amazing. All right. Andrew Thomas, one pressure given up all game. All right. Evan Neal, although he got beat a couple of times, he was only actually credited for one pressure given up all game. That interior, get your shit together. All right. You guys are giving me a freaking heart attack. All right. And it was one of the reasons why the thing is I did not, under any circumstances, bring up Daniel Jones fumbling the ball, because everybody, oh my God, Daniel Jones fumbled the ball again. That was in no way, shape, or form his fault. You are not, as a quarterback, under any circumstances, supposed to be getting hit. I don't give a damn how. I don't care if you're facing Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp, and Reggie White all rolled into one player. All right. 0.3 seconds after the ball is snapped, you were not supposed to have somebody on your back. And that's what happened. Joshua Izulu got absolutely destroyed on that play. And I understand you're a rookie. You're pretty much a reach rookie. All right, going up against one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL. I get it. At the very least, slow the man down. He put his hands out there. He lunged. He leaned, and he just got completely annihilated. Right? Cannot have that. All right. Or else we ain't even gonna be looking at Tyrod. We're gonna be looking at Davis Webb because it's gonna happen to Tyrod too. Hey,
Oh man.
you go ahead, man.
No, I mean I agree. I agree with most everything you said. Like I said, as far as things going forward, like, and you're right. The whole thing with Daniel Jones, like, is I texted you too. It's just in the past, it's always been Daniel Jones to do like 19 things great, and then that 20th thing he'll do wrong, and it's like at the worst possible time, you have to do like it's just like, yo, you have to do something wrong. You can't just have
Mhm.
a clean game. You have to mess up, and it has to be at the worst opportune time. Why, Daniel? Why does it always have to be like this? Like, and that's what like that's how everybody feels though. Like, and you say you sat back, like you said, it's a wheel route. It was a wheel. Throw the
Mhm.
ball while Saquon's running in the corners, like turning the run. Like you can't sit here and throw it when Saquon's standing in the back of the end zone and the
Yeah.
corner's standing directly in front of him, and then you throw it to him. Like it can't. If you're gonna make mistakes, like throw it to Saquon during the wheel route and it bounces off of Saquon's hand or something like that, and the corner picks it or something. Do something. Don't sit up here and throw it and stare the guy down and wait till he's facing you and then throw it. Like the wheel route is done at this point. So
Yep.
that's where like everybody's looking at him like, what were you
What are you
looking at?
doing? Yeah.
Like what were you even looking at? Like and I don't know, just threw it and hope that maybe he'll Saquon just make a play on it. Like I don't, you can't do that
Nah.
with the game on the line. You cannot do that. And I am
Right.
happy. There's another thing I said. I texted you too, though. I am happy because every other coach would have walked up to Daniel and been like, "Yo, like,
It's all right. Yada yada
what you
yada.
see there? Like, okay, I saw what you might have did there." No, and Dave's trying to make it professional, like, "Oh, it's his debut, blah blah." I was talking on my headset. No, because I sent you the video. Millions of people saw it all on Twitter. He
Hmm.
didn't even have a headset on. He walked
Yep.
up and he chewed Daniel Jones out. I've never seen Shermer or Joe Judge or any other coach chew Daniel Jones out. Maybe they haven't practiced, maybe they have off camera or anything. But I've never seen a coach chew Daniel Jones out until that. Davis, like you said, didn't even have a headset on. So
Hmm.
there was no, I was talking on the headset. No. He just had a hat on. He walked off, took his hat off, and started yelling at him. Literally, like, not berated, but he literally tore to him and walked off. And then, like you said, what happened? Daniel came out, led a game winning drive.
Hmm.
But yo, you can't sit here and you can't keep babying this guy. It's year 4.
Yeah.
Like, it's year 4. I understand he's been through multiple head coaches, multiple schemes, all that. Understand, get it. So have all the other people on the team that have been there with him. Like, you have to figure it out or move out. It's that simple. Like, but you gotta see some progress. I gotta see like you have to progress. Like interceptions and fumbles and turnovers have to come down. Like you said, the one where Zudu just got massacred, that's not on him. Because he literally snapped the ball, took 2 steps, and he got his arm chopped out from
Yeah.
behind.
He wasn't even at the end of his drop, yo. That's the
No,
crazy
no,
part.
he wasn't. He was like 2 to 3 steps into his drop. And he got and he got stripped. Like the quarterback couldn't even finish his drop, his initial drop from the snap, and got stripped. That's horrible. That's on his dude. That's not on Daniel. But that
Hmm.
interception that almost at the end of the game, 100% on Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And those are the mistakes that you have to get rid of if you're going to progress and you're going to be in this league for 10, 15 years. If you want to be a starting quarterback in this league for your career, you can't have mistakes like that with the game on the line in the red zone. We've seen that. We've seen that too many times. We're done with that. We're sick of it. Do something else. Like if you just throw the ball out of bounds,
Yeah.
throw it at a tight end or a receiver's foot. Just throw it at the ground. Like right receiver hit him in the foot. It's not grounding. He missed it. Do something. Like we would have took the 3 points. Maybe we stop and go down, score again, and we don't have to worry about that on defense. Like, but in a red zone situation, you have to take care of the ball.
Right.
On the 10, 15 going in, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to either get it to somebody that's either make it where our guy gets it or nobody gets it.
Hmm.
So he's got to progress. Saquon, I have nothing to say bad. I mean, nothing to say negative about him. Had an amazing game. Like you said, offensive line tackles did great. The center Mongo, he had up and down game, but it was all right. Glowinski was a mauler in the run game, but kind of slacked in the pass game. Left guard has to be figured out. Um, I am excited going forward. I'm excited because I want to hope Wandale's okay. But I heard he was day to day, so I'm really excited to see what we can do with Wandale when he comes back. I want Tony on the field more. It's I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Some people say it's a pitch count. And then Dave just said it was like scheme specific. Like we have different players go for different schemes. I don't know. But then you have people like David Sills and Richie James are getting more targets than Kadarius Tony, which is kind of like eye opening to me. Same thing with Galladay.
It's sus. It's
Yeah, it's the
definitely
same.
sus.
It's the same thing with Galladay. Like you had David Sills and Richie James were getting 5, 6, 7 targets. Kenny Galladay had like 4 all game. Tony had like 2 targets. Like yo, we have
Galladay
to
only
work.
had he was only targeted twice, and he
Like we
caught
have
both
to.
passes.
I mean, we have to work these guys into the offense more. Like
Hmm.
we got to figure something out. Like someone's got to figure out. And there's no reason Richie James should be like leading us in targets and receptions. There's no reason for that. Like I understand if you're open, but are we really running the offense through Richie James? Like, is this really what we're doing? So I mean, and my thing long term, like this is like long, but like after the season's over and everything, like this next draft is what I'm really most interested in because we got rid of our scouting department. Chris Pettit and all them are gone, thank God, because they were terrible.
Yep.
And Shane and Dave's, they brought in their own guys, the handpicked guys. They built their whole thing from the ground up. Now I'm very interested going forward to see how they're going to build it. That's one thing. Obviously, we just got past week 1, but that's the one of the main things I really want to see how they're going to build it, how they're going to build the team. Because again, I mean, I'm not going to say nailed them because the jury's still out, still, you know, week 1. But as far as Neal and Tibbs go, like you got debatably the best edge rusher in the draft, and you got the best right tackle in the draft, or the best tackle in the draft, or
Hmm.
he plays right, and Quadra plays left. Neal can play left if he needs to, but we have Thomas. I want to see the direction that they go going forward, and I want to see the other moves that we're going to. We have to make like the D line. I think is the one group that's like solid to the point where we don't really have to do anything to. Like, again,
No,
give it's more so getting people healthy at this point. You get
I
Aziz
would
healthy.
I would think the only move that we would potentially make on the defensive line is in the interior, and that's if Dexter Lawrence doesn't come back.
True, I can see that. I can see that. One thing, like the thing is, like, is Shane gonna build it? Is Shane gonna build it like the Bills? Is he gonna go off and get all these different like D linemen? Because if you look at the Bills, D line is disgusting. So
Hmm.
I mean, is that the direction he's gonna go? Because again, you have KT, you have Aziz, you have Ellerson. Zimenez actually, as much as I give that guy flack and want him cut like every
He
day,
did his thing.
he did his thing. Like he definitely did his
Hmm.
thing. So how Ward played well. He didn't, he didn't give up. He didn't get a sack or anything. But the guy is like great edge center. He set the edge like nobody's business out there. He played really well too. Then
Hmm.
I mean the interior, you had Nick Williams, who was a veteran sign, that actually played decently well, along with Justin Ellis and Cat and everything. Oh, this dry throat. Just keep yelling at kids all day, but coaching was ridiculous. Yeah, I think the D line is pretty solid. I think going forward, as far as defensively, I gotta see some type of linebacker play. I gotta see somebody get brought into the mix. Like We're not going to survive. Darian Beavers going down was huge. That was
Yeah.
huge. That was like a kick in the nuts. But there's got to be something or some type of answer or somebody that we can go out and get or something. I don't know. There's got to be something because I don't. We're not going to survive with Austin Calitro and Tate Crowder in the middle all season. It ain't going to happen. If Tannehill and Dontrell Hilliard were making us look like that, imagine what else is going to do. Like you said, like CMC going to tear us up. Like it's
I,
just we're not going
I
to survive
I'm
with this.
I'm I'm worried about when we have to face Boston Scott, who is just he's historically just kicked the living shit out of us.
Freaking giant killer. That guy. Oh.
I can't stand him.
Personally, he's just on the Eagles.
I cannot fucking stand him, yo. Dude comes out here, he sucks every game until he plays us.
The
Man
Eagles always
averages
have one. The Eagles
this man
always have
average
one, man. Oh
this
my
man
god.
averages this man averages 1.3 fantasy points for the entire season, unless it's against the Giants, and it's like 37. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It really be. Oh my god. I was so happy when Darren Sproles left the Eagles. I was like, oh, thank God. I don't have this short, shifty bastards anymore. And then freaking he goes and they'll get Bart Scott. I was like, God damn it. It's all over again. I deal with another bastard. Another 5'6" dude just running under
So
people's
bitch
legs.
torching everybody for no reason. I'm like, where were you?
Yo, I hate it. Oh my gosh. They're like the worst when they run screens. They got grab on behind the center and the
Hmm.
pulling lineman. You just can't get to them. You gotta get around the lineman. It's like, yo, I hate these guys. guys. Over killing us. Freaking scoring the touchdowns on Jabril Pepper's head. I'm like, yo,
Yep.
Jabril, oh, suck. Oh, man. Oh, man. I can't. That's that guy. I hate that guy. I
Yep.
really do hate that guy. Like I said, man, I mean, listen, I just hope we come with that same fire and passion and intensity the rest of the season.
Yep.
That's what I really hope for. I hope that we can, because like I said, like the past seasons, it's just been like watching the game. Where everybody's like 40 to
Yep.
7 again, 40 to 3. Like, like every week was
Where
just like
there's like absolutely no excitement whatsoever leading
nothing.
into it. It's like more it was like more of a chore watching the games than anything else. Like I hated
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was just like I would be home and I didn't even want to watch the game. Like I was like
Hmm.
trying to go. I'd turn to channel 2 and watch like whatever on CBS. Like I was like, yeah, like you just like you said, just watching it just because I'm a Giants fan. I have to watch this. Like I felt last season was like upsetting. Turn around and now you have like again, it was only one game, but to have to see the emotional back in the players and the intensity and the passion that Dave's is coming with and that whole staff is coming with, like
Hmm.
it's something that we haven't seen and had in a long time, and that's like it excites you. It's like, yo, I want to see this every game now. Like this is what I want. Like, and I just love that Dave's is just so short and sweet to the point.
Yeah.
My man was just I told you that earlier, or I knew it earlier yesterday. He was just the reporter was asking him. He was like,
Oh yeah. When coach, when did you think you were going for two?
when we got the ball, like
Yep.
as soon as we got the ball, what were you thinking? What were you thinking on the last play? I hope we score. What were you thinking on their last play? Or
Oh,
what
the
were you
son of a bitch missed it.
thinking? What were you thinking before he kicked the field goal? Hope some of the bitch missed it. I
Like,
was like, yo, I love this guy after one game.
yo, seriously.
After one game, I'm a Brian. I mean, shoot, I was a
So,
fan
so,
of the hire anyway, but I'm a fan of this guy after one game.
that's all we
Like,
needed.
yeah, it's a duh. What else? Like what do you think of his potential game winning field goal? What do you want to say? Like, oh well, it's a business and it's football and Things happen. Some guy wins, some guys lose. No, I'm not
Mhm.
thinking that. Hope you shank this shit. Like, be honest with you.
Like, I
Hope
hope
you,
you kick this mess into the next county out of
yeah,
the opposite side of the stadium.
like I hope you miss. I literally hope you miss. I hope you fumble the snap, and whoever's holding it has to try to run, and we tackle him, and he fumbles it. We run it back the other way for a touchdown. That's what I really want. Like, put the whole game away. That's what I really
Yep,
want.
no
But I'll
doubt
settle.
whatsoever.
Yeah, like yeah, go up 9 points with no time left on the clock. That's what I want. Like, geez, what else did you? What are you going to say to that? Oh man. Well, if you got nothing else to do, I just was a short, sweet victory formation podcast. I enjoyed this one very much.
Me both.
Hopefully we can get some more of these.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, again, like I said, if you haven't followed us before, follow the page, Facebook, Instagram, like, share, comment. Let us know. We have a live chat, so if anybody watching want to ask questions, tell us something that we didn't know, something that we missed, your thoughts on the game. Game's coming up. Let us know. And hopefully tomorrow night we'll be back with you for our lost train of thought. For our week 1 reviews and our week 2 predictions, because damn was I wrong. Damn was I wrong. Week 1 was rough for me. I don't know if I got many right, because I definitely thought the Vikings were going to win, and I definitely thought the Niners were going to win, and both lost.
Vikings
So,
did win.
I mean, sorry, I thought the Packers were going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the Packers were going to win. I thought the Niners were going to win. And I definitely did call the Bills game. I definitely did call the Bills game. I knew they were going to go into LA and beat the Rams. But we'll go over that tomorrow. Maybe we'll see you there, Benji. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yo, sidebar. All right. The Chargers
Sidebar.
got set up
How
with
do you
this
get set?
schedule. The Chargers got set
How?
up with this schedule. All right.
How?
You gotta sit up there. You gotta play the Raiders week 1, and then on a short week, you gotta go play Kansas City in their home opener. That was a setup. All right.
Great,
I'm no Chargers fan. That was crap.
great teams do great things. That's all I'm going to say. Be great. Be great. Oh, and I definitely thought the Broncos were going to win last night.
Oh
But
yeah, everybody did.
what? Like, they sat here and wasted 30 seconds off the clock and went for a 64-yarder with it. I guess they thought there was more of a chance they would make that than they'd get it on 4th and 5. But
Either that, or maybe they thought that the
my
$265 million contract was signed by McManus and not by Russell Wilson.
oh my god! I was like, yo, are they serious? Like, you went 30 something seconds off the clock, got down to 4 seconds, went for a 64-yard field goal and missed it.
I'm sorry. Like, I heard this on the radio before. Like, I will always give credit. I'm not going to sit up here and take credit for somebody else saying something or whatever. I'll bring it up and tell you where the hell I got it from. Like I said, I heard this on ESPN radio earlier. What are the odds of a 4th and 5? Nobody fucking knows, but I'm pretty sure the odds for the 4th and 5 are a hell of a lot better than a 64-yard field goal,
By
especially
not
when Russell Wilson is your quarterback.
He's been doing it his whole time in Seattle. Like, why not give him the ball?
Give the man the opportunity. Like,
Yeah,
I don't remember what their timeout situation was or anything like that.
they
But come
had
on,
they had one or two. They had
Ugh.
one or two. Like, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. You paid this man all this money. You traded all these assets for the guy, and then with the game on the line, 4th and 5 from like midfield, you took the ball out of his hands and put it in your kicker.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But
We'll
we
probably
can
talk
hop on that
about it.
tomorrow, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow because I don't know. Good night, everybody.
Y'all have a good one.